Hello and welcome to the most boring man on YouTube. So we've just had the qualifying for the Singapore Grand Prix, and what a fantastic qualifying we had. It started off with a damp track following the rain pour, went into a dry track at the last session, and what a grid we've got for tomorrow. I'm going to start straight at the front because that's where all the action happened, and it was really tense right at the end. We had a drying track for Q3, Q1 and Q2. We were with Inter tyres. For Q1, we had the soft tyres come out, but it was still dramping in places like turn 8 was tricky. Some drivers, on the first run, we had Yuki Tsunoda go on Inters, where the rest of the field went for softs. So that's how fine a balance it was, really, and picking the right tyre for the last session, which was a top 10 shootout. And we've got Charles Leclerc on pole position, as you can see with the red around me for that. And what a mix-up grid as well. We've got Sergio Perez starting second, Lewis Hamilton in third place, all split by less than half a tenth. You're talking about 5 meters around the whole circuit, split in the top three. And pole position here really crucial. We were here like 2 or 3 years ago last at Singapore, and there was about 5 overtakes in the whole race. So being on pole is absolutely crucial. The start tomorrow will be absolutely epic, and we're going to have three, really, Hamilton with Mercedes getting right back in it. Charles Leclerc pulled off a brilliant lap to get his pole. He said it himself, it just felt like the perfect lap. Hamilton said he needed it to be absolutely bang on to get pole. Sergio Perez just missed out by 0.022. That's incredible tight right up there at the front end there. And the big shock really of that was Max Verstappen. Now, unsure really what happened there. He had 2 laps before the end of the session. He aborted 1 lap because he made a small mistake. And smart-mindedly thought, right, I've got this third session, just about made it in for the final lap with 3 seconds before the session's end. And then, oddly enough, he just got called in to the pits right at the end. You could hear his frustration from him over the radio with a few expletives. Of sort of not understanding why he's getting called into the pits. It looked like he was going to be there or thereabouts on pole. Right in the mix, considering it's top. He could have been anywhere in the top 3, considering how or 4, considering how close it was up at the front there. But he's gonna end up starting in 8th place tomorrow. So we'll have quite an interesting grid. In 4th place, we got Carlos Sainz. There's a decent qualifying from him for Ferrari, but he was being on it in most sessions, so a bit unsure what happened there if he just didn't get the lap in towards the end. Alonso, ever present in 5th place. He absolutely smashes it every time out of the park on that one. His teammate is 18th, and Alonso, again, sole soldier for Alpine. What he's proven again what they're going to miss. He's done it time and time again this season. Lando Norris, what a brilliant performance from him in 6th place. Them two, the really stars for their both teams, really, for McLaren and Alpine this season. Respectively, Danny Rick in 17th, didn't get it out Q1 again. I was hoping after Italy, where he did get a good qualifying and he was in a decent position in the race before he went out, I thought this might be the one where he can then kick on, but sadly it's not really quite worked out for him there. Gasly in 7th place for AlphaTauri. What a qualifying for him. With the last few weekends, we've seen him go out in Q1 in the AlphaTauri, so good to see they've got some pace there from them. Max Verstappen, like I said, he's going to start 8th. Issue, they're saying that he basically called in, wouldn't have had enough fuel to give a fuel sample at the end of the race, and at the end of qualifying, and therefore potentially could have risked being disqualified and would have then had to start the race 20th and last. And like I said earlier, how difficult this place is going to be to overtake. Even for Max Verstappen, I'm not as confident as in winning from here in 8th this weekend as I have been with other weekends. He's qualified badly or started badly elsewhere. Due to ending penalties, not because of anything else. But and I've been confident in him winning. I don't see that happening here tomorrow. but it'll be exciting to see him push through the field. He's absolutely ruthless with his overtakes, and I'm sure he will be tomorrow. This was the weekend, all hyped up, where he can win his first opportunity at winning the world title. He would have had to finish on first and Leclerc 8th or lower. Could happen. Anything happens in these races tomorrow, but seems unlikely he'll get it here this weekend. I mean, it was mathematically quite a weird scenario where he needed it for him to win, but not going to make that happen, I don't think, but let's see. We'll be in for an exciting one tomorrow. And then we've got Magnussen in P9. Brilliant qualifying for him in the Haas. He was probably the star of qualifying for me, putting that Haas, bringing it into Q3 and then getting 9th place. And Yuki Tsunoda, good qualifying for him as well. Get into the top 10, starts 10th tomorrow. Hamilton in Q2 was fastest. He was second fastest. It was really right there and thereabouts throughout the whole thing, so I was a bit disappointed for him. I mean, I'm going off tangent there, but I still feel like this was probably the one where Hamilton should have got pole, but starts third. I'm for sure he'll be a bit disappointed with that, as am I. And the shock, his teammate George Russell is starting 11th. Now, he had a problem in Q2, just didn't seem to get the lap right. Either issues just getting their tyres warmed up. They did initially in the first couple of sessions, but Hamilton was absolutely, he got second place in Q2. So unsure why Russell just didn't quite have the pace. And you can see the frustration on Toto Wolff's face during the session. He was really kind of expecting him to be right up there. I mean, given that Hamilton was half a tenth, 0.05 off pole, and how tight it was, it would have been great to see George Russell right up there as well, but it's just not had the qualifying pace this weekend. Stroll for Aston Martin, a decent result for them. They've got out of Q1. He's going to start 12th. Mick Schumacher in 13th. Disappointing compared to his teammate, but a decent result nonetheless. Bit of pressure on him. He kind of needed to beat his teammate this weekend, with rumours of him moving teams or someone taking his seat. But let's see if he can save that in the race tomorrow. Vettel 14th. He tried, or was the only one in Q2 to go on the softs, as with Stroll, but it didn't quite work out for him. It was just a bit too early going onto the softs in that session. Zhou Guangzhou qualified in 15th for Alfa Romeo. Did a decent job there, out-qualified his teammate for a weekend. He's just signed a contract extension with them for another year, so positive result for him there. Bottas, disappointing, he went out in 16th, went out in Q3. Danny Rick, as I said previously, starting in 17th, another poor qualifying session for him, and I think he'll find it difficult in the race tomorrow, considering how hard it is to overtake here. Ocon in 18th, Alonso's in 5th, so says it all. I'm surprised they put all their eggs in his basket and signed him for so far, and kind of we're a bit funny with Alonso, where Alonso's been the one getting all the points and the results for Alpine this season. Albon 19th and Latifi 20th. Great comeback from Albon. I mean, he only just had that scare with his appendix and had issues. I mean, they said that they had to resuscitate him and he'd been in a coma like just a couple of weeks ago. So for him to be here, out-qualified his teammates by half a second, I think that really might put the nail in the coffin for Latifi. His seat still up for grabs, in my view. Well, he's gone, hasn't he? So let's see. It's a shame that he couldn't really go out on a high on that one. But yeah, it's just not worked for Latifi. He had some really good starts and races early on when he started for Williams, when he got his points in his first season with them. So yeah, I'll cover that in another topic. But we've got a cracking race start tomorrow. Ferrari leads, Red Bull leads Mercedes. Great to see how tight all the top three teams are up at the front, and that's the kind of the championship that we wanted. It'll be a cracking race tomorrow. Really look forward to the start, which will be crucial, and let's see what the teams and drivers can do with strategy and trying to move like places like Verstappen, who's out of position, up the field. and see how close that battle will be up at the front. Thank you very much for watching. We'll catch you tomorrow for a race review. See you then.